Following Eugene's instructions, I quickly reached Radwed's office. Finally in the Wolf's lair. I had to move quickly then, and above all, find something that would get me close to young Kathrin. Messy and without style, the desk displayed a hasty and maniac mindset. As was reasonable to expect, it was closed. It supplied power to the fan, but for the moment it was deactivated. Light solvent. Alice told me the factory produced building materials before it closed. As expected, the drawers were all locked. It was already set to on, but the power strip wasn't activated. As was reasonable to expect, it was closed. Was it really worth it? The drawers were all locked. It was pointless to try opening them without first finding the right key. The ashtray was decorated with some peculiar symbols. I wondered if they meant anything. They were all pictures of Kathrin. Kathrin at sea, on a boat, always smiling. And among all those shots, the picture that led me there. She was on a luxury boat, probably the property of her rich father. The photo that led me to the factory. The photo that led me... Kathrin at the beach. No detail that indicated where she was specifically. I wondered if I'd ever get the chance to hear her play. She was running carefree in a park. That picture made my guts churn with rage at the thought of the kidnapping. Kathrin in a park, in the tranquility of a spring sunny day. She had the sunniest smile I'd ever seen in my life. The photo that led me to... The baby bump showing on the girl suggested that the photo was recent. I thought it was better to look for another solution. Was it really? In that moment, sometime, maybe. Sometimes. Messy and without style, the desk displayed a hasty and maniac mindset. Messy and without style, messy. Supplied power to the fan. Messy and without... Messy. The ashtray was decorated with some peculiar... Kathrin was holding a snow globe, inside which Miami was represented. Silly nonsense. Her expression suggested she felt the same way as me. I recognized the glass ball. It was the snow globe Kathrin was holding in her hand in the photo. I inspected the sphere and discovered a small brass key in the battery compartment. A very stupid place to hide something. The batteries must have leaked and the key was oxidized. The key was completely rusty, and it was impossible to make it fit any of those drawers. The key was completely rusty. No matter how hard I tried. That solvent and vigorous friction could restore the key back to good condition. The lock triggered, and the drawer opened with a soft sound. Among the several documents inside, I found a freshly printed dossier. It was related to an unspecified exchange of goods that would be happening that very night. The location of the meeting wasn't specified, but a certain detail grabbed my attention. One of the records was for a bribe to a harbor office, also unspecified. Considering the number of piers in Miami, finding the right one would be far from easy. I needed more clues if I wanted to find the exchange location.
Fee-fi-fo-fum. I smell the blood of a snoop.
You seriously said fee-fi-fo-fum?
Mama got it right, like always. Pull your head out and let me take a look at you, smartass.
Like heck. What would stop you from shooting me then?
I only need to take 2 steps to have you at gunpoint anyway, sport.
You don't want to do that. I'm a detective on duty, and I'm armed.
So you say, and yet I don't see you flashing any gun.
I'm just waiting for you to take a wrong step.
I say you're bluffing. Okay, I'm fed up with this chattering. You have 3 seconds to come out of there, or I'll be coming to get you myself. 1.
I doubted that the power strip could help me at that specific moment.
2.
Could that ashtray help me in any way? I wouldn't have managed to sneak out of the window in time.
Okay, I'm fed. 1.
I couldn't see anything that might help me on the deck.
2.
I doubted that the power I didn't
And 3. 2. And 3. It's the end of the road.
As soon as the smoke reached me, waves of desire.
All right, Squirt. It seems you weren't bluffing after all. What do you think you accomplished? Radwed will be here soon, and together we'll flush you out of there.
True, but I'd bought precious seconds to get out of that hell. By turning on the power, I thought I could divert Mama's attention towards the fan, clearing a way through the office window for a few seconds.
Hey, what are you up to?
Nothing. I was just measuring the desk to kill time.
I've known many morons, but you are the gold standard. Hey, Squirt, are you out of your mind? Don't take another step or I'll end you, understand?
All right. I was just using the ashtray. I wouldn't want to set the entire factory on fire.
What the hell is happening in here?
It's time to go for broke, and quickly.
What was that? Okay, Squirt. I'm sick of this. Come out of there and let's get it over with once and for all. Here you are, you snooper.
I Adrenaline was pumping through every cell of my body, giving me the necessary strength to knock out that behemoth. Now, to get out of there, and fast. Factory, I thought of how I had miraculously escaped one of the worst situations of my life. Yet, it was worth the risk. Now, I knew there would be an exchange of unspecified goods at the pier that night. An exchange I could not miss. I just had to find out which was the right pier among the thousands in Miami. Hello.
Hi, Lars.
I was able to sneak inside the factory.
How'd it go? Did you find anything?
I think, my dear, that I underestimated those people. I had to deal with a person of uncertain gender armed to the teeth whom I managed to survive only by a miracle, and thanks to my cat-like reflexes. Add to that the sketchy individual who gently suggested that I leave the case alone. And you'll have a clear picture of the current state of our investigation.
Somebody is not happy with the progress we're making.
Not at all. And the closer we get, the more I feel hunted.
The situation is more serious than I imagined. I really might have a chance for a promotion.
Hey, what about my life constantly being in danger?
Summing it all up, what do we actually know for sure?
First of all, I was able to put a name to our brown-haired mystery man. Now, the factory was registered to his name, a certain Radwed. Then I discovered that tonight an unspecified merchandise exchange will happen nearby at a local pier.
Considering the number of piers and ships anchored in Miami, it doesn't seem like enough to move forward. If only we had another hint of any kind.
Have you got any ideas about how to proceed with the investigation?
Maybe you should shift your attention to something else for the moment.
You're right. I still haven't obtained everything I wanted from Roger, the homeless witness. See you later, partner.
Bye, Lars.
Putting it in my pocket was out of the question. I'd have sold it if needed. I could have used it on the spot. I thought it was better. Maybe. The fountain wasn't especially loud. Emitted a... The paint was still fresh, so the solvent would be sufficient to remove it. Good morning, Duke Ravendish. You can stop worrying about your palm tree.
You do not speak fallaciously. I see the mark has actually disappeared.
Now, will you answer my questions?
Ravendish can be ruthless, but always keeps his word. Ask away.
About the night we discussed earlier, do you remember witnessing anything suspicious?
The stroganoff stew was cooked without sour cream. These Americans and their culinary reinterpretations. Beyond that, I remember seeing an extraordinary individual. He was not a regular, I'm quite sure of that.
Can you describe him?
Formally attired, classy, possessing remarkable posture. He always had his back turned to me, so I cannot provide further details about his appearance.
Nothing else?
Not that I remember. No.
Another dead end. He was the only witness of the event, and I only obtained a vague description. The alley was a cold lead after all.
Where is my head? I unintentionally omitted a detail.
I held my breath.
As he strode towards the main street, the man received a phone call, from which I only managed to capture certain words. One in particular aroused my attention, and I determined to research it for purely academic reasons. I wrote it down in a note that, given your precious help, I am willing to share with you.
Gripped with excitement, I prepared to read the note. It contained just one strange word. Sitlak, Sitlalique?
Do not look at me like that. I have no idea what it means.
I'll handle this. Although I didn't know how to interpret it, I was sure that bizarre word would lead me to the man in the mask. I had to consult with Alice and try to tie together the strands of my investigations.
Oh, lad, can you remain a little longer?
Do you want me to prune your palm while I'm here?
You have proven to be a reliable collaborator, so I have a second request of you. Being a detective, you may have access to government databases through which you could research, this.
I couldn't help but notice the effigy, a crow, in the act of surrounding the world with its wings. I had already seen the same symbol shortly before. M's medallion. What the hell was going on? Had I exposed a conspiracy of vagrants? Well, can you give me more specific information?
The crow enveloping the world is the symbol of the Ravendish family, as well as of the company I run. Or, more accurately, I ran.
Tell me everything. Forwards and backwards.
That shan't be easy, but very well. The Raven was, to me, a constant commitment. I ate with colleagues and slept in the office most of the time. I went home just one weekend a month at most. Over time, I started to ignore my family. First, my wife, who got sick of that situation and left the marriage. Then Cynthia.
Cynthia?
My only heir. She gave birth to a child, but I was so absorbed that I never went to visit them. When I saw her again, she told me she wanted to leave England to move here, to Miami. I was furious. I had filled her pockets with money, given her houses, clothes, and luxury cars, and she just wanted to abandon me, like her mother did. Oh, I feigned indifference and she left, repaying me with a taste of my own medicine.
And since then, you've never seen your daughter again?
My daughter reached Miami, but sometime later, she suffered a terrible accident. She was killed instantly, without pain. The baby, however...
He died with her.
No, I would add, fortunately, but what I discovered later destroyed me. My daughter realized she couldn't take care of the baby, so she abandoned him. I don't know what her last thoughts were, but I was sure they were about the choice she'd made. I used most part of my fortune organizing searches, but to no avail. I felt like I was going crazy from helplessness. In the end, I was declared unfit to manage the Raven, and my portion was bought out by a private group, the Fallen Rose.
Before my eyes, the pieces were being arranged in a very strange way. How could it be that the Fallen Rose itself, the company run by Radwed, was connected to that old man met only through chance? At that moment, I began to suspect that my meeting with Roger Ravendish was anything but random after all. You're telling me you stayed in Miami to look for your nephew for how many years, precisely?
12 years, give or take a few days, and I shall stay here as many more need be to reunite with him.
Listen, Duke Ravendish, I don't want to create false hope, but what are the chances that a 12-year-old kid who calls himself M would find himself in possession of your family medallion?
Boy, if this isn't jest, I must warn you that.
I believe it would be better if you came with me.
So this relic would be my grandpa.
Hey, little monster, watch your mouth.
Come on. I get that you're a bit of a sucker, but I didn't think that much. This guy comes out with an absurd story and I should believe him without any evidence?
Michael, you wear the medallion of the Ravendish family.
Michael?
But there's more. An irrefutable piece of evidence that leaves no doubt in my mind. I see my Cynthia in your eyes. Your mother.
My mom?
Come, I'll take you out of this hell.
The surface. It's been such a long time since I've seen it. It has a weird smell.
City life is a collection of scents. The asphalt, the gardens, the water of the fountains.
The pollution.
You'll learn to distinguish them. But for now, let's go home, Michael.
From the beginning of the story, I had done nothing but use everybody else to achieve my aims. But as I watched that grandfather and grandson leaving together, I realized that for the first time, I'd acted for the good of others, and not myself. It made me feel better. Hello.
Lars, don't you know that if you have to meet a girl after being in the sewer, you should first take a shower?
I would have really liked to, my dear, believe me. But today is not Saturday.
I already heard that one. So why do you have that strange smile?
I found out that two homeless nobles are related. I've brought them together.
Does it have anything to do with our case?
Yeah, no.
I understand. First, the secondary quest, right? Now, can we get back to the main one?
I found a witness who swears he saw the lunatic who challenged me. According to this highly refined homeless person, the man uttered the word "sitlalique."
Circle Ciplo what?
Yeah, I basically had the same reaction. Can you do a search?
Let's see what I can find. So, the word itself is a proper name, in particular of an Aztec deity. I think in our case it means something else, though. I did a cross-check with anything that might have local relevance. The search produced some matches. A themed hotel in the suburbs, a ship anchored here in Miami, and a strip club in nearby Miami Beach.
It must be the strip club. See you later, Alice.
Stop right there, you pervert.
You don't get it. My instincts lead me to believe that.
Keep your instinct at bay. We need to narrow down the field. We can't afford to go off at random.
All right. But I'm sure it's the strip club.
Okay.
Alice, let's think back to the clues we know for sure.
So, in the factory you found a reference to a merchandise exchange.
That will happen tonight at an unspecified pier.
Then that witness you talked to gave us a name. Sitlalique.
Which, among other things, seems to be a ship anchored in Miami right now.
And here we are. I want to do another check. Give me a minute.
Don't get too carried away. The two details could be unconnected.
I don't think so. The Sitlalique is a ship used for goods transport and is actually anchored at Pier 5 in the Biscayne Bay. And listen to this. It seems to be registered to none other than Kathrin Mulzberg.
I knew the man was involved with his daughter's kidnapping. Maybe by merchandise exchange. They actually mean the girl. I just have to wait now. If all goes well, I could close the case by tonight.
Listen, Lars, if you're going to sneak onto the ship alone, it'd be better to take precautions this time. Burton wanted me to compile an inventory of new gadgets which just arrived in the department, and there's one thing you absolutely have to see.
A metal bracelet. Pretty ugly too. Well?
It contains a powerful tracker that will allow me to follow your every movement.
So, if I were to disappear, you could at least find my corpse. And this other electronic thingy?
You must pay very careful attention to that. It shoots lethal lasers.
Really?
No, silly. It's simply a Bluetooth headset. This will make it easier to communicate. How do you plan to sneak aboard the ship?
I just have to arrange a ride by sea, and I know just the right smelly person for the job. If I hurry, maybe I'll be able to reach him before he leaves the city.
Lars, don't get killed.